Our planet is in constant motion. It rotates on its axis once every 27 days, making one complete revolution. This rotation gives us day and night and influences a number of phenomena, from tides to the Coriolis effect, which causes hurricanes and other large-scale weather patterns. But what if this rotation suddenly stopped? What would happen to the Earth without spinning? Let's take a closer look. The Earth was once a molten mass of rock and metal. As it began to cool, it started to spin, and that spin originated in the Earth's core. Even today, our planet's inner core is still spinning at a speed of about 3,000 miles per hour, or 4,800 kilometers per hour. That's over 3 times the speed of the Earth's rotation at the equator. In 1965, scientists working with NASA's Explorer 39 satellite discovered that the Earth's rotation was actually slowing down by about 6.1 miles per hour, or 10 kilometers per hour, every 100 years. And according to some scientists, the Earth's rotation will eventually slow down so much that it will be completely stationary relative to the Sun. However, don't expect this to happen anytime soon. Even if we fast forward a few million years, the Earth's rotational speed will only increase by about 20%. If our planet suddenly stopped rotating, the consequences would be catastrophic. The first thing we notice is that half of the Earth would be plunged into darkness. As the Earth rotates, different parts of the planet face the Sun. When the Earth stops rotating, one side will face the Sun and will be in daylight for 6 months, while the other side will face away from the Sun and will be plunged into darkness for the same period of time. The areas near the poles will experience almost constant daylight or darkness. For example, locations above 70 degrees north latitude will see the Sun for more than 2 hours every day, whereas those below 70 degrees south latitude will experience more than 2 hours of darkness every day. But the most noticeable difference would be the length of the day and night. If the Earth stopped rotating, there would be no day-night cycle anymore. Instead, we would have just one very long day, followed by a very long night. One day lasts about 18 hours, and then we would have 6 hours of night. In total, one cycle of day and night lasts 24 hours. But how could we measure the duration of a day if we don't have day and night to define it? Well, astronomers use the position of the Sun in the sky to track time. When the Sun reaches its highest point in the sky, it is noon. Then we measure the hours before and after noon to determine the rest of the day. If the Earth stops rotating, the Sun will remain at its highest point for 6 months, so this method will not work anymore. Instead, astronomers will have to use the positions of stars in the sky to measure time. Another significant change that will occur when the Earth stops rotating is the climate. Most regions on Earth have a moderate temperature because of the balance between the northern and southern hemispheres. Each of these hemispheres receives a relatively equal amount of sunlight throughout the year. When the Earth stops rotating, the balance of energy between the two hemispheres will be broken. The North Pole will start receiving direct sunlight and temperatures will soar. On the other hand, the South Pole will turn into a frozen desert. The transition to higher latitudes will be particularly brutal in the Arctic Circle, where temperatures are usually around freezing mark. When the Earth stops rotating, the Arctic Circle will receive direct sunlight and temperatures will rise to a sweltering 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius. The record temperature ever recorded in this region was 89.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius. According to climatologists, the increase in temperature will affect the entire biosphere. Plants will grow faster and larger, leading to a shift in the ecosystem. Some species may go extinct, while others will adapt and thrive in the new environment. If the Earth stops rotating, the ocean currents will also be affected, and this will lead to severe weather. For example, the Gulf Stream, which brings warm water from the tropics to Europe, will weaken, causing a drop in temperature across Europe. A study published in Nature Climate Change in 2019 found that if the Earth stops rotating, most regions will become drier. The study used computer models to simulate various scenarios of climate change and found that a stationary Earth would have catastrophic consequences. There will be major changes in precipitation, wind patterns, and temperature, which will lead to droughts, heat waves, and other extreme weather events. Other changes that will occur when the Earth stops rotating include a redistribution of the Earth's crust, tsunamis, an increase in volcanic activity, and even a change in the Earth's magnetic field. The Earth's crust is currently moving and shifting due to the rotation of our planet. If the Earth stops rotating, the crust will redistribute itself, and some regions will be lifted while others will sink. For example, land on the eastern coast of the United States will rise up to 200 feet or 60 meters, while land on the western coast will sink up to 100 feet or 30 meters. These changes will trigger giant tsunami waves. On the first day after the Earth stops rotating, the water on the eastern coast of the U.S. will move towards the west, and this will generate giant tsunami waves. The waves will travel across the Atlantic Ocean and hit the western coast of the continent. People living in coastal regions will have to deal with flooding and property damage. Also, the Earth's magnetic field is partly generated by the rotation of our planet. If the Earth stops rotating, the magnetic field will be altered, and this could disrupt important technologies such as GPS. Volcanic eruptions will also increase significantly. The Earth's rotation causes a slight bulge at the equator. This bulge puts pressure on the Earth's crust, and this pressure helps hold down magma in some volcanoes. If the Earth stops rotating, the pressure will disappear, and this could cause many volcanoes to erupt. And finally, living on Earth will be a lot more difficult. Imagine you're at the equator. You're used to living your normal life until suddenly everything changes. You feel a massive earthquake followed by a devastating tsunami wave. After the water recedes, you look up in the sky to check the time, but the sun is at its highest point, so it doesn't help you tell the time. Then you notice that the temperature is soaring and you feel like you're in a greenhouse. A few days pass and you realize that the sun never sets. Then you hear a loud roar. It's a volcano erupting. You try to use your GPS to find a safer place to wait out the disaster, but the device doesn't work. You can't call your friends and family because the cell towers are down. There is no one to help you. You're alone. If the Earth stops rotating, modern society will collapse within a few days. People will have to fight for food, water, and energy. Scientists predict that only 20% of people will survive the impact. Those who survive the initial disaster will have to deal with starvation. Crops will wither away due to lack of water. Most plants need to be watered or irrigated to survive. Unfortunately, the distribution of fresh water on Earth is uneven. If the Earth stops rotating, some countries will have enough fresh water, but most countries will face severe water shortages. The Netherlands, for example, imports most of its drinking water from neighboring countries. Without the current system of transportation, the Dutch will have to find alternative sources of fresh water. During the first year after the Earth stops rotating, millions of people will die of thirst and hunger. A year after the Earth stops rotating, most of humanity will be wiped out. Survivors will have to contend with dangerous animals looking for food. And let's not forget the cold. The winter on the northern hemisphere will be harsh. Without the moderating effects of the ocean currents, temperatures will plummet to unimaginable levels. Temperatures in Canada and northern Europe will be around -90 degrees Fahrenheit or -70 degrees Celsius. Some scientists say that the Earth will eventually stop rotating. But don't worry, because NASA has a plan B. The space agency will use nuclear weapons to blast the Earth back into action. NASA says that 20 nukes will be enough to get the job done. Each bomb will be detonated near Earth's core and will release about 11 Hiroshima atomic bombs of energy. These explosions will generate a lot of energy, which will shake up the Earth's core and will blast the Earth back into action. Don't forget to stay tuned for more videos. See you next time.